Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Brenau University webinar, Why Now for Brenau? My name is Katie, and I will be moderating our webinar today. But before we get started, let's go ahead and cover our agenda, and I'll tell you a little bit about what you will learn and who you will learn from this morning. So we know a lot has changed in the world in the last year and a half, and you probably have a lot of questions floating around about your education. And we really want to discuss why now really is no different than any other time to go to attend Brenau University and to earn a college degree. So first, we're going to talk a little bit about what learning online at Brenau is like, and then how that will help you invest in your future and prepare for a virtual workforce. After that, we will have a live Q&A session where our hosts will answer any questions that you might have. Speaking of Q&A, if you take a look at the bottom of your screen, you will see a Q&A button. If at any time during the webinar you have a question, go ahead and click on that button and type it in there, and we will get those addressed at the end of the webinar. So with that said, let's go ahead and introduce you to your hosts. Today, we are joined by two of Brenau University's enrollment coaches. We have Kristen Betts, Senior Enrollment Coach, and Talita Gordon, who is also a Senior Enrollment Coach. Now, these two are part of our enrollment coach team, and if you don't know what an enrollment coach is, don't worry, we will tell you all about it during this webinar. Between the two of them, Kristen and Talita have almost 30 years of experience in higher ed, so you're in good hands today with some real experts. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Kristen, and we will get started on our webinar.
Thank you so much, Katie, and hello and welcome everyone. So before we talk about why Brenaus, I want to share a little bit about our history. So we started out over 140 years ago as a women's only college in Gainesville, Georgia. So we studied seminary at that time, and over the years, of course, we now have co-ed and multiple programs. What you may not know is in 1998, we actually became the first online university. So with that being said, with over 20 plus years experience, we've learned to really perfect our programs, our processes, get comfortable with our culture, and really provide an exciting learning online experience. So as adult learners, we're very busy individuals. We work during the days, we work at nights, we have children, we have to eat. So it's very, very important to have a special environment in order to accomplish our goals. So with that being said, we have 100% online classes. We typically take 2 classes at a time, and they're usually about 7 weeks long. Very manageable course sizes. And it's just a very comfortable environment. As adult learners, we've also have kind of learned a little bit about how we've been out of school for so long. And it could be a little bit scary sometimes, and we may not remember our math skills or our writing skills. In fact, my daughter the other day, who's 15, wanted to ask me a question on geometry, which I'm sure this has happened to many of you guys. But I had to pull out a book, a humongous book of geometry, just so that I could get comfortable being able to tell her and help her with her assignment. So what's really cool about Brenaus and online is that we offer that free assistance. So we have help for you, no matter how long you've been out of school. So math sources, writing resources, tutorials, people who can help you with these different areas that you may be a little bit more fearful of. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Talita, who's going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about our roles as enrollment coaches.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Kristen. Being an enrollment coach, it literally is basically just guiding you through step by step, making sure, number one, that Burnout is a great fit for you, that we offer the best program for you. And along with making sure it's a great fit and a great program, we're actually going to help you prepare for that next journey by assisting with the application process And by the way, there's no application fee. We also assist with ordering transcripts. If we are able to order those for you, we'll do that on your behalf. And then the next step is to get you admitted into our program. And then from there, we're just going to have a great relationship, probably become friends somewhere down the line, and continue to make sure that you have a very successful experience in college. And along with working with your enrollment coaches, you'll also have a success coach. Your success coach is going to make sure you're taking the right class at the right time so you can graduate on the right day. So our goal is to get you in the class, get you graduated, and onto that career path that you set out for yourself. Your success coach will also introduce you to your faculty advisors. Faculty advisors will bring you your program plan. Everything is online, so you don't even have to come to the campus. Due to the pandemic, we have made sure that everything is so convenient for all of our students, including our faculty and staff. And as you can see, there's a student that mentioned just do it. Brenaus is a great place to go. I can tell you personally, I have been with Brenau for a very, very long time, and I have students that I've taken from their associate's degree to their bachelor's degree, from their bachelor's degrees to their master's degrees. And I have one student that literally calls me almost every week, just to say hello, let me know how she's doing in class. So not only are you a Brenau student, but you become part of the Brenau family.
So while all this really sounds fantastic, let's sign up, let's do all this stuff, but how are we going to pay for this? I know that's always in the back of everybody's mind. There are many options available to help students throughout the program. There's federal assistance, so the FAFSA, which includes both loans and grants. Grants are based off of need, and loans are available. State government. So Georgia takes a lot of pride when their students go to school locally. So in order to do that, they want to also provide some different resources. And one of them is something I'm going to discuss in a minute, but they're very, very helpful. And there's scholarships, there's private scholarships, there's other resources. And that's also something that as enrollment coaches, we are ready to help you with, to provide those different opportunities to help you with the cost. So as I mentioned, one of the grants that Georgia does offer is called the Equalization Grant. This is something that is provided through the government or state government. It is offered per year for individuals who have lived in Georgia at least 2 years. It's $850. Sometimes they split it up into 425 and 425, but this is something that they do have set aside to help our students.
And as Kristen was mentioning, the Georgia Tuition Equalization Grant, another opportunity for our students is the non-traditional student scholarship, which is the Adult Skills Education Program. Um, that's a great opportunity for you to see if there's any additional scholarship money to help you pay for your cost of school. Along with that, there are some additional websites that I like to share. One is collegeboard.org, O-R-G, a great resource for looking for scholarships. There's an app called Scholly, another great opportunity to look for scholarships. This is something that you can use for yourself if you have children that are preparing for college. This is great information for them as well. And many of our students, along with using scholarships, they're getting their bachelor's degree and then they're transitioning into their master's program. And one of the questions that I get on a daily basis is, do I have to take the GMAT or the GRE to qualify for the graduate program? The great thing is our MBA program, you do not have to have the GRE or the GMAT. You will have to have a certain grade point average, and that's something we can definitely discuss in a Q&A. And that's the amazing part. Even our Masters of Arts in Teaching, we no longer require the GMAT or the GRE for that program. So there are different requirements, but the biggest thing is the GRE and the GMAT are currently waived. So it saves you so much money and so much time.
One thing that COVID has taught us this year, and I've heard this from other students as well, is that it helps us identify our lives and what we're capable of doing. So one thing that we found out is that over 4.7 million US workers were working remotely now. I used to work in an office, now of course working from home, but it's learning these skills when you go to school online that's helping us with these characteristics and these skills needed in order to be successful, from teachers to customer service to um, you know like utility companies. They're all working online now, and these are some of the companies that have switched over. And so by looking at these new opportunities, we have to look to ourselves and say, hey, are we prepared for this? By going to school online, you are learning all those skills. You're learning those capabilities and those exciting ways that are going to help you be more successful, and we'll go over that here in a second. With online classes, it does teach us to connect with others. So one of the different things that we do as one of our assignments is called a discussion question, or DQ. Our teachers will provide a question, and it allows everybody an opportunity to go in and really check it out and read their article and figure out what the answer is. But what's so cool about it is that we all have different life experiences. We all have different opinions. So when we read something, we may read something that is completely different from what somebody might have also seen. So it helps us really look outside the box sometime. And not only that, but we can also take that information and apply it to real life. So another area that we do is group projects. Group projects just really teaches us to collaborate. As we're doing our webinar today on Zoom, we have to be able to function and be able to work with other individuals, whether or not they're sitting next to us or 1,000 miles away. So it's very, very important to keep that communication going, and that's something that group projects does teach us. Virtual teams as well, again, Zoom. Your teacher may occasionally say, hey, let's go ahead and meet up if somebody's not understanding something. Even on an individual basis, they can do that. So lots of flexibility there, lots of help, lots of support, but it's definitely going to help you not only in the workforce, but it's going to help you for a lifetime. So another thing that you'll learn skills in is accessing written lectures. So we're learning how to communicate, again, either through writing skills, through person to person. We don't have our hands to provide to us to lead us through discussions. So we have to be up on our technology. So you're going to use skills such as PowerPoint. You're going to use skills such as Excel, Word. You're going to learn about all of those things that will help you as a student. But again, moving forward into the workforce, because that's ultimately our goal, is to be able to get through school and have a successful career moving forward. So collaborating with others through video calls, again, Zoom is our friends now, and it makes you more comfortable to be able to speak and communicate on a quicker motion. So with that being said.
Thank you, Kristen, and thank you, Talita, for sharing both of your experience and your expertise with us today. Next up, we are going to move into our Q&A session, but before we do, we wanted to make a few quick reminders. So first and foremost, classes start here at Brenau University on March 8th, which it's crazy how fast time flies, it'll be March 8th before we know it. So we would really recommend that you submit your application, or if you've already submitted your application, finish it up in time for that start date. The sooner that you finish that, the sooner you're admitted, which means the sooner you can choose your classes, and most importantly, find out what financial aid you're going to get. So we understand this is a big process, and if you have questions, our enrollment coaches are here to help. On the screen, you will see a phone number and an email address. You can give them a call at 888-828-7528, or you can email them at at ags.brenau.edu. And we have entered that into the chat panel of this webinar. So if you take a look at the bottom part of your screen, you'll see a chat icon. If you click on that, you will be able to see that contact information if you want to jot it down. So with all that aside, let's go ahead and move into our Q&A session. Now, as a reminder to those of you who were here at the top of the hour and those of you who joined a little late, first of all, welcome. We're happy to have you here. But if you have a question, Talita and Kristen are here to help. And for questions, go ahead and click on the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, type it in there, and we will do our best to answer them. But with that said, it looks like we got a couple of questions earlier today. So we're going to go ahead and get going. This question I'm going to ask to Talita, since she spoke a little bit about the GRE and GMAT earlier. Talita, this person wants to know what entrance requirements there are. So can you please give us an overview of those, please?
Absolutely. The entrance requirements for our programs will vary. So, if you're looking at entering in as a first time college student, you basically need a high school diploma or GED, and you want to have a cumulative 2.0 grade point average. If you're looking to transfer into our program, you want to have again a minimum of a 2.5 grade point average for that, and at least 30 transferable credits so you can be considered for a bachelor's program. Now, when it comes to our master's program and those exams around the GRE and the GMAT, for the MBA, you want to have a 3.0 cumulative grade point average, and that's cumulative from all schools that you've attended in the past, higher education. The Masters of Arts in Teaching, that one you have to have a 2.75 grade point average, but once you are in the graduate program, you do have to maintain a 3.0.
Thank you so much, Talita.
You're very welcome.
Then to add to that, Brenaus has a lot of different online programs, but one of the great things about Brenaus is there is a dedicated enrollment coach for each of them. So if there's a specific degree that you are interested in and you'd like more information and more kind of one-on-one time, please give our coaches a call at that phone number in the chat, or send them an email. Now we have another question from Tammy, and she wants to know what programs do you have for, what bachelor's programs do we have in the healthcare field? So Kristen, I'm going to turn the time over to you for this one.
Okay, perfect. So online, we have healthcare administration, which is actually a really great program, because not only is it something that you could work with in the healthcare field, but you could also work for pharmaceutical companies. You could work for insurance agencies. You're developing those skills to learn about the terminology. You'll even learn about medical billing and coding. So it's really a great program. 80% of the hospitals are run by people who are administrative, who run the hospital, not the doctors or the clinicals or any of that. So it's a very important position. Great hours. Usually they're during the day instead of the nighttime ones. But yeah, that's a really great one. When you get into our graduate programs, of course, we do offer a healthcare management with our business and our organizational leadership. So you can carry on with that healthcare administration to take it to a whole new level of management as well.
Great, thank you, Kristen. Tammy, I see that you have some specific questions about your transcripts. If you want to send a chat just to the panelists, we can make sure that a coach reaches out to you and looks at your transcripts and answers your very specific questions about that program. So go to the chat feature and click all panelists and type either your phone number or email address into there, and we'll make sure somebody reaches out to you after this. So with that said, I see a couple more questions have come in. This one is from Kimberly, and Kimberly, I can personally relate to this. She says she's interested in getting her master's, but it's been 8 years since she received her bachelor's degree. Is there a chance that she would have to repeat any classes due to the fact that it has been a while since she has attended a university in the past? Talita, can you help us answer that, please?
Absolutely. So, you will not have to take any classes. So, hopefully, that takes a little bit of weight off your shoulders there. The great thing about having your bachelor's degree, it's sort of solidifies that you know what you're doing. Although that's been 8 years since you've been in school, the one thing we will do is have you take the introduction class for the MBA. So it'll be your foundations courses. So MBA, it's BA 508, if I remember that course correctly. But that's going to be your introduction. You go through that class. As I mentioned earlier, you'll have a faculty advisor, you'll have a student success coach, and you'll have an enrollment coach as well. So we're going to make sure that you're successful, answer all of your questions. You have all the online help, the tutoring, the assistance that you need. So you can still be extremely successful, being that you were out of school for 8 years. And I can personally tell you, from my bachelor's degree to my master's degree, there was a 10-year gap. So you're definitely not alone.
Yes, thank you, Talita. I think you are in excellent company, Kimberly. I think that's probably the majority of people moving from their bachelor's to master's. It probably takes about that time to work up the courage to do it. So yeah, give our coaches a call if you have specific questions about your bachelor's degree or specific master's programs. Now, this question is from Jessica, and she says that she is at her last semester at Lanier Tech for an associate's liberal arts degree, and she has some questions about transferring. So Jessica, again, if you want to reach out directly in the chat, send the chat to all panelists and give us your phone number. We'll have a coach reach out to you directly about your specific situation. But in the meantime, Kristen, can you give us a quick overview of our transfer policy?
Of course. And I also wanted to raise Toledo one. It was 20 years for my master. So you are definitely in good company. But yes, as far as transferable credits, it's always up to the receiving school to receive the credits. And that's not only for us, that would be with Lanier Tech, that would be with any university that you're looking at. So typically what we do is once we've received your transcripts, admission, and you've been admitted, admissions would go ahead and take about 24 to 48 hours to evaluate your credits. So, and they'll see what would apply and what would not apply. So that's probably the best answer to provide to you at this point, as long as it's from an accredited university.
Great, thank you, Kristen. And Jessica, again, if you could give us your phone number, we'll have somebody reach out directly and talk to you about your stats and biology courses. This is going to be our last call for questions. We have a couple more minutes to wrap up, but I have a few more here that we'd like to cover. So this question is for Talita. Talita, this person wants to know, do they have to log in for online classes? Do they have to log in at a specific time? Is there an attendance requirement? What does that look like when it comes to attendance?
That is, excuse me there, my voice, I'm losing my voice. You do not have any mandatory class times, which makes it so much better if you're a working adult. You have kids at home, you have to cook dinner, you have to help with homework. So the great thing is, if it's 10 o'clock in the evening, you need to log in, you can do that. Brenau also have an app. We have the Brenau app. So if you have a 15-minute break, you can log into your Brenau app and answer a discussion question. The great thing about having electronic textbooks, you can download them to your smart devices, your phone, where you could just go ahead and read a couple chapters. Again, you can do this so conveniently. So no mandatory class times, which again is great. You do want to look at your syllabus so you know exactly the days your assignments are due, but you'll know all of that the first day of class. So you'll get everything up front, but no mandatory class times.
Great, thank you so much, Talita. Kristen, this person has kind of a 2-for-1 question. So you're the lucky winner. You get to answer both of them. So can you tell us, first of all, do we accept transcripts from out of the country? And if so, do you know which companies we work with? And also, does our elementary education degree or MAT degrees, do they lead to teacher certification?
Okay, yes. Okay, so the first question, yes, we will go ahead and evaluate them. Traditionally, when I've been working with students from international students who are now in the States, and so we have an evaluation that they need to complete. And and I'm just at the top of my mind, I cannot think of it, but we can provide that information to you because I have a couple really good resources that meet those requirements in order to get them, and they're also very affordable. But they will go ahead and submit the evaluations. They'll send them to us as official. And then again, they'll be evaluated just like they would if they came locally. So that is one area. And I will, like I said, I will go ahead and provide that information that to you so that we can help you out on that, and even maybe some direct contacts. The other question was about our education programs. Katie?
Yes, that's right. So the question is, does our teaching degree lead to teaching certification?
Yes, so great question, because we are one of the only online schools in Georgia that actually does lead to licensing. So we offer an associate's program, which is just the first 2 years of the bachelor's, and then we do offer a bachelor's of education. That program does lead to licensing. We are recognized by Georgia professionals, and so the classes match up exactly to what is needed. And then if you do have a bachelor's degree already and you want to get a certified, we also offer what's called a Master's of Arts in Teaching. And that is also offered twice a year. And that does also lead to licensing if you've already received your bachelor's program. That is, they're both great programs. They're both online.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kristen. It looks like we have one final question, and that will wrap up our Q&A section. This question is for Kristen. This person said, or I'm sorry, Talita. This person says that they have started filling out their FAFSA, but they're a little bit confused. Can they get help filling that out? And if so, who should they call?
Absolutely. You can definitely reach out to one of the enrollment coaches at Brenau. We can definitely walk you through the FAFSA process. Or you could go online. When you're in the FAFSA, there is a chat box in there. You do have to search for it, but there is a chat, and you could actually reach out and they could help you with some of those answers. But again, all the enrollment coaches with Brenau are qualified to walk you through your FAFSA.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Talita and Kristen, for your time and your expertise. And thank you to everybody who's asked us questions. If you have more questions, and I'm sure you do, we know this is a big decision, and you probably have lots and lots of questions, but rest assured there are people here to help you. So you can give them a call. Again, the phone number is 888-828-7528, and you can find that typed into the chat if you want to jot it down. You can also email our team at success@ags.brenau.edu. Go ahead and send them emails, give them a call. They're more than happy to answer your questions. That is what they're there for. And if you are in the process of applying or you haven't yet, make sure you get your applications in soon, because March 8th is our next start date. So thank you again to everybody who has joined. We really appreciate your time and energy, and we hope to see you in class in March.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you all.